What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. I'm your host, Matt Johnson here. Let's kick off this Wednesday show, guys, by recapping the Bulls' 116-108 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday night at the United Center. But first, guys, I want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video before we get into this recap. Take advantage, guys, of $75 in bonus entries after playing just your first $5 today, guys. All you got to do is scan that QR code at the top of the page to jump in on all the great action that Underdog Fantasy has to offer in terms of NBA markets. Diving into this recap now, Leonard Miller, and this was a guy I kind of capped off yesterday's show talking about, was the first guy off the bench along with Colin Sexton in this one. Those are two guys that I would love to see get continuous minutes here as we close out the season. I like this moving forward out of Billy Donovan. Get these two guys as many minutes as possible to kind of show you what, or have them get the ability to kind of show you what they've got in this game. When you look at it, got off to a really, really sloppy start. There were blown layups. There was a missed dunk. There were air balls, plenty of turnovers. The teams combined to shoot 21 of 66 to start the game, guys. A very, very messy start to this one. It's surprising on the Thunder's behalf. They've been such a powerhouse, so for them to come out and play that sloppy. I know SGA was out for this one, but anyway, to see them play that sloppy of brand of basketball to start was a bit shocking. Josh Giddey, guys, would exit the game in the third quarter after fighting for a loose ball and getting his ankle rolled up on. So that was a bit of a concern. Shortly after Giddey went to the locker room, Modest was also caught rolling his right ankle after stepping on Williams' foot there. Modest would not return after exiting late in the third quarter. So that was certainly an eye-opener to lose both those guys there. In this one with the loss, it's now the Bulls' 15th loss in the last 17 game, guys. Truly, an epic run of losses here. The next, they will open up a 5-game road trip in Phoenix Thursday night. On the bright side, in the box score, Colin Sexton finished with 20 points. Yabusele continues to be productive. He had a double-double, 18 points, 12 rebounds in this one. And Josh Giddey was just one rebound shy from yet another triple-double in this one there, guys. And then looking at another contributor who I think will continue to get added reps, Nick Richards. He added 12 points and 14 rebounds in the loss, a double-double for him. Nick Richards is going to be in the category of Colin Sexton. Yabusele is going to continue to get meaningful minutes here as well, guys. And I just think that you got to get these young guys as many minutes as possible down the stretch just to see what you have in them. In the box score for Oklahoma City, Jared McCain had 20 points in Oklahoma City's win. The Thunder would also have 6 players in double figures there. Jared McCain's been a very, very solid addition. I loved that move for them, before the trade deadline. I think he's going to continue to bolster that group in a team who's clearly hungry for another title there, guys. So jumping into and transitioning to the betting recap, guys, the Bulls were down at one point, 112-96, with just over 3 minutes left in the game. The Bulls would go on a mini 12-4 run to close the game out and grab the backdoor cover in this one. The total was finished slightly under, but to be honest with you guys, it took a late push to get the total close to going over as well. The under was never really in doubt most of the way, and that was due to the Bulls' lack of scoring. To be honest with you, the consistency just wasn't there in offense, and then that very, very slow start kind of helped propel the under most of the way as well. The slow start by both teams, I should say, that I spoke to start this show. Moving forward onto this West Coast trip, guys, expect the Bulls to be underdogs a majority of the week here. I think the exception is obviously going to be that matchup Sunday against the Sacramento Kings, the league's worst team. Expect that to be more along the lines of possibly a pick 'em, or the Bulls to be a slight favorite in this one moving forward. So that's what we're kind of looking at moving forward, guys. Jumping into the underdog segment for today. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block putters are back, guys, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, and today, actually on Underdog, I'm looking at none other than the Oklahoma City Thunder again, playing in a back-to-back against the New York Knicks. For this matchup here, I'm going to select Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He should be back playing in this one. I'm going to go higher than 30.5 points, and I'm going to go Jalen Brunson from the Knicks to go higher than 24.5 points. I think this is a classic case of both superstar players showing out in the Garden, guys. A monster marquee matchup between two of the league's better teams, two of the league's best teams, I should say. So this is going to be a fun one. Take the higher on both guys' points there. Expect the superstars to show out in this one. Again, guys, use promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 there. Use promo code BasketballFan.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878-8 or text PMI 467-369.
All right, guys, jumping back into things here to cap off the show, I want to go over a couple of the major injuries that we saw in the injury report for the Bulls, and it was really, kind of crazy to see the Bulls' top two players go down with the same injury in a matter of quarters there. I mean, aside from yet another loss, it was concerning to see both Josh Giddey and Modest Buzelis leave with their respective ankle injuries there. Giddey later returning, obviously, so that's a good sign. Modest would not return. Billy Donovan confirmed postgame that both guys had ankle sprains. Modest saying postgame, quote, "I don't think it's that bad. I hope to play next game. I hate missing games," quote. Modest is the only Bull to play every game this year, so keep that in mind. This is a player who wants to be on the floor, who expects to be on the floor. So if the ankle injury, it has to be bad enough to keep him out, and it looks like they're going to take Wednesday to kind of evaluate both guys. Josh Giddey stated he'd already kind of underwent treatment on his ankle and that it doesn't feel too bad, but we're going to know more Wednesday on both guys. So both guys are going to be evaluated at Wednesday's session. We'll see. Hopefully they can both be out there because, to be honest with you guys, that's what, kind of brings Bulls fans into watching the Chicago, Bulls operate right now is these two players. These two players are still fun to watch amongst the struggles that they've had since the trade deadline, guys. The consistency lies in Josh Giddey and Modest Buzelis. So having both those guys out with injury, if they do miss time, an extended period of time, is going to be a blow there. So kind of wrapping up the show today, guys, I want to talk about and go over the NBA Power Rankings and the latest list that has come out here. We have an updated version. Let's see where the Bulls come in here. Chicago comes in at 23, exactly where they were as a part of the last list of the power rankings there, so they don't move at all. A winless February, guys, has taken the Bulls out of yet another East play-in race, something we've talked about and expected when they dished away pretty much every major piece before the trade deadline there. It's kind of flipped Chicago's attention toward lottery odds now. The Bulls are currently 12th in the East with a large gap before they fall any more spots in the standings, which is a tricky spot to be, guys, and this is what I've talked about. They're not probably not going to be able to lose enough. There's not enough games left to reach a top four spot in the standings there to guarantee themselves a spot within the top four picks there and landing one of those perennial players. The Bulls, do play Dallas in the season finale on April 12th. That could be a complete take-off as both teams assure they get as many ping pong balls as possible for the upcoming lottery. Obviously, the Mavericks having a really, really rough year as well. Cooper Flagg has been hurt and injured and missed a lot of time. Obviously, them firing Nico Harrison earlier in the year, that's been a mess over in Dallas. Kind of just a free fall after that Luka Doncic trade last year. So the Bulls will cap off their season against them on April 12th. And that'll certainly be an interesting affair given what both teams have their eyes set to in terms of the lottery coming up. Behind the Bulls in the power rankings, you have the Dallas Mavericks, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Utah Jazz, the Washington Wizards, the Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, and then rounding out the list at the very bottom, the Sacramento Kings. Guys, these are organizations, again, that I think when you look at the lottery, I think Dallas, New Orleans, Utah, Washington, even Indy, Brooklyn is still a very young team. They're really strong. Every one of those teams is struggling, guys, and there's going to be a lot more losing for them down the stretch here as well. So the Bulls, I mean, are going to probably find themselves in the tail end of the top 10. But we'll see how things kind of shake out. Maybe they do win the lottery. Again, it's all about giving themselves the best possible chance with the most amount of ping pong balls in that lottery. So that's going to cap off today's show, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of this Bulls team. Are you guys frustrated with what's going on? Do you think that it's, are you on board with losing the rest of the way, guys? What do you think is next for this Bulls team? I'd be curious to hear what the Bulls fan base has to say on this. So that'll do it. Scan that QR code at the top of the page to get in on all of the great action Underdog Fantasy has to offer. I want to thank Underdog for sponsoring this video once again. Thank you for joining me again today, guys. We will see you all next time.